Hey, Magic Man here, and today I'm finally bringing a review of the Tier 6 German destroyer, the Ernst Gaede. And this is probably the destroyer I will be playing in ranked. I really like it, and this is going to kind of show off a little bit of everything that this destroyer can do. I don't think I end up rushing anybody in their smoke win this destroyer though, but it is something that you can do in this ship because it has hydroacoustic. If somebody smokes up in front of you, you can rush in, you can literally rush up to their smoke and pop your own and then pop hydroacoustic and gun them down basically. And I've actually done that a couple of times in this destroyer. Most of the time I'm able to get away with it, but if the destroyers have a friend with them that is undetected, then sometimes that can end badly for you if it's a cruiser. Most of the time though, destroyers don't have that sort of help, but occasionally you get somebody who's in a cruiser who just wants to commit suicide very early in the game. That basically rushes up with the destroyers. So I'm actually going around the left side of this island. I wasn't going up through the choke point because if you've ever spawned on the other side of this map and you've been a destroyer, you've seen how people go up through that gap that emerald is going through now, and then they have no choice but to sail in front of this island, which probably would get me very close to being spotted by this Cleveland. And most of the time you'd have an enemy destroyer coming around the corner of that island in front of me that would spot you as you're going across the front of the island behind me. And that's a very bad spot to be in because you will take a lot of damage basically. And that's why I went around this side of the island. It gives me an option to actually escape the cap in case things go bad. Now, I'm just firing my torpedoes into this gap here, hoping that I'll get lucky hitting somebody coming through it. Doesn't look like it's going to happen, though. Unfortunately for me, everybody seems to be sailing away, or they're just too far. These are only 8-kilometer torpedoes. They're the upgraded torpedoes for this ship. And it looks like this guy is just going to charge straight in here, so if he's going to do that, I'm going to take this opportunity to basically blow him away. And this was sort of a test to kind of see how effective the German AP would be on this destroyer with the 128mm guns on an angled superstructure of a destroyer. And so far, it was not good. Not good at all. And since he's actually going to turn broadside to me, I'm actually going to switch back over to HP. Or, not to HP, but AP. And I was trying to figure out what's going to be best, AP or HE. And it kind of looks like HE might actually be the better choice. If you can get some actual penetrations to stick in the ship, it usually does a little bit. AP does a little bit more damage, but HE, you know, you can just disable modules and, you know, break things on a ship. You can even have the chance of starting a fire. So it kind of looks like against most destroyers at tier 6, the German destroyer AP is just going to overpenetrate them. And it's better to use your high explosive against them. Now these are the 128mm guns. I just unlocked the 150s right after this battle, so I might be bringing a video of what the 150s are like in the future. And I think this guy is actually, it's hard telling if he's going to turn around or if he's just going to turn broadside on and smoke up. I was a little bit unsure what was going to happen, so I just fired one set of torpedoes and then decided to shoot my guns at him. I noticed at the last second this French cruiser in the background was shooting at me, and unfortunately for me, I don't know if it's just people with bad aim or what it is, but you know, if I'd have kept sailing in a straight line there, I would have completely dodged all those shells. They would have fallen short. I don't know if people are like expect you to turn out and away from their shots or what, but it just seems like a lot lately that if you try and take evasive action, you end up eating more shells than you would normally. It's kind of weird. Okay, so far we have actually pulled a little bit of a lead in this game. I wouldn't say it's much because games can change so quickly, especially since the only thing that's happened is each team has lost 2 cruisers. The enemy team has lost, as you saw, that destroyer that I killed earlier in the match. So they're down a destroyer, but that's not really a huge deal. It seems like most of the time at these lower tiers, the more impactful ships are the battleships because of how much health they have. I mean, if you don't have good destroyer players, then you're pretty much screwed. Because cruisers can't do a whole lot against battleships anymore. I don't know what the deal is. There used to be a time when you could effectively engage a battleship as a cruiser, but now with the overmatch mechanics and everything, everybody getting better at shooting, it's just it's hard. It's hard as a cruiser. They're relatively weak. It doesn't help that in higher tiers some of the battleships get cruiser consumables. That definitely doesn't help. And I unfortunately miss this Texas because he I don't understand some people's play. It really confuses me sometimes. Like, he came out from this island and basically turned broadside on to all of our battleships. Man, I don't know. And he slowed down, and then he grounds. So it's really hard hitting people with torpedoes because you just never know what they're going to do. Like, are they going to potato? Or are they going to do something incredibly stupid, like turn broadside on and slow down in front of all your battleships? It's just hard telling. So I ended up missing that torpedo volley because I expected this guy to do the smart thing and continue on his course. Maybe even speed up a little bit, but I guess that just wasn't in the cards. So, seeing as I kind of know what I'm playing against now, these battleships are basically just straight lining YOLOers. I don't know how else to explain it. They're not going to change their course because they think they're invincible, and so I'm going to launch both of those torpedoes at that New Mexico, exactly at the predictor. And I unfortunately am going to have to try and take out this Nicholas, even though it looks like our carrier might even already be out of planes. And this just kind of goes to show you the arcs on the German destroyers are not as bad. Oh, and we actually get 4 torpedo hits on that New Mexico, which is good stuff. And as you can see, the arcs on the German destroyers, I started shooting them at 8 kilometers, now we're down to 7. They're very similar to the American destroyer arcs. They have a lot of aloft and hang time to them once you get past 8 kilometers. And once you start coming into about 7 kilometers, they start to flatten out a little bit more, and it makes it easier to hit your target. So this Congo is still pushing into my team, and it would be nice if somebody would take out that French cruiser over there. French cruisers are so fragile. I'm surprised none of my friendly battleships have decided, hey, that's a great target to shoot at. I think I'm going to shoot at him and just wipe him off the map earlier in the game. But because that's what I would do. The French cruisers have basically no armor, and yeah, they're really easy to sink and farm damage on. So if I was in a battleship, I would definitely shoot at them. That Congo looks like he's one of those guys that doesn't change his course or speed. So I only launched one torpedo set at him, and I'm gonna launch another one at this Texas because he's really past the point of no return. Like his only option is to go through that gap right there. So he really, like, I don't see him dodging all of those torpedoes. Maybe if they my torpedoes gap themselves poorly, he can dodge them, but I just don't see it happening. And we almost killed that Congo. I got 2 hits, but no floodings, which kind of sucks. If I'd have got a flooding, I might have been able to kill him with 1 flooding tick. But, you know, that is what it is. And, yep, I actually landed 1 torpedo on that Texas, which is good stuff. I figured he didn't really have a chance of dodging them, because once you decide to sail through that gap, like there's no coming back from that. And the Emerald turns broadside onto a battleship and gets instantly deleted. Although that may have been the French cruiser right there that killed him. Yeah, it actually was. It was a French cruiser. For some reason, that guy is still alive. Hopefully, though, our Graf Spee pushing up from sea will deal with that cruiser, because I really don't want to. The French cruisers, while not hugely maneuverable, are maneuverable enough to get out of the way of torpedoes. And I feel like he's going to continue sailing in a straight line. So I'm only going to launch 1 set at him. This is one of the things that you can do in a German destroyer. If you're on the flank where the enemy is pushing hard and, you know, you're just trying to delay them, your torpedoes are great for that. They're relatively short range with 8 kilometers. I shouldn't say relatively short range because that's not really that short of a range. And we do actually land 1 torpedo on him. That one, the flooding is going to stick. There's no way that his damage control is back up yet, I don't think. Yeah, and he actually gets taken out by the New Mexico. And New Mexico has unfortunately taken a couple of my kills. That guy. I do all the damage, he just shoots him 1 time and takes it. But, you know, it is what it is. This is a team game, and if you secure a kill, then you are literally just helping your team. And, oh, that's not good. Our Graf Spee is firing HE at a at a French cruiser. Oh, there we go. And that cruiser finally takes a big hit from that New Mexico. Did quite a number on him, and our Graf Spee starts a fire on him. And I don't think this guy is going to die. I haven't looked at the health of our Graf Spee, but from what I know of how this guy's been playing, he's a fairly decent player. And I really don't want to let him get away, because he might cause problems for me somewhere down the line. So if I can kill him, that would just be great. There we go, and we actually get a fire, so I know that one's going to stick because he just had a fire on him. And it looks like I'm very close to being able to capture B, and that's when he actually kills our Graf Spee, and my fire actually kills him, so sweet, sweet revenge. And now the only person that's left is a Baron. And I felt like I've carried quite a bit of this. Quite a bit of my own weight during this game. So at this point I'm going to cap B. If I can get a couple of more torpedoes on the Baron and take him out, you know, that's great. If I can't, I'm not really that worried about it because we're definitely going to win this game. I don't think there's anything that this enemy battleship player can do with such a little amount of health against us, to be honest. And I actually didn't lose too much health during this game, which is surprising. Most of the time when I'm playing this ship, I'm almost dead at the end of every game. And I think it has a lot to do with how big this ship is. This is a very big destroyer at tier 6. It is very long, and you can definitely tell that when you put this ship into a turn, because its turning circle and the time it takes to turn this ship around is pretty massive. Especially, I mean, that's what it just feels like to me. But maybe that's just because I play US destroyers a lot. It feels very Russian destroyer-y as far as the turning circle goes. And, you know, that's just how this ship feels to me. But I think as far as this ship goes, playing it in rank with a 6.6 kilometer concealment, you know, it's not the greatest. Definitely isn't. It can be competitive, but with the smoke and hydro combo, I think you're going to see a lot of this ship in ranked, and you're going to see a lot of Japanese destroyers in ranked, but I think that might be about it at tier 6. You might see an Anshan or two in there, because they're going to be pretty good gunboat torpedo boats. And this was like I was trying to get some torpedoes off here. I had no idea what this guy was gonna do. It looks like maybe our battleship might have got a hit on that salvo. It's hard telling. But I end up making this gap into like this is like a 6-point turn or something. Yeah, he actually hit him a couple of times with that salvo. I figured he was going to keep rushing in, so I popped my hydro so I can see out of my smoke, because I don't want to get surprised by this guy. And I have no idea where he is at the moment, which is kind of scary. I don't think he can kill me unless he gets a couple of penetrations to stick in my ship. But even still, the way AP penetration mechanics work, and considering the size of this destroyer, I really don't want to take the chance of eating a couple of penetrations from a battleship and getting deleted off the map. I'm not really a huge fan of the way that battleship and destroyers interact right now. I kind of feel like if you're a battleship and you have no cruiser protection, and a destroyer rushes you, you kind of deserve to die. That's just kind of my feelings on it, but I'm sure a lot of people who play battleships, and because battleships are such an easy ship class to play, that they don't really feel that way. So it's really sad that even in a destroyer, you know, you're supposed to be a hard counter to a battleship, and your ship can't even really be that because of the way the game mechanics are. So it's a sad deal, but that's the way the game is. Alright, so the Ernst Gaede. Pretty good tier 6 German destroyer overall. The turning circle is a little bit on the rough side, so is the rudder shift, but the guns are fairly good. I will be trying out the 150 millimeters probably in the next video that you see of this ship. The smoke screen, fairly short duration, but that's okay. All you're really going to be using it for is to A, escape a bad situation, or B, to smoke up close to another destroyer smoke screen and pop your hydro acoustic and basically gun them down in their own smoke screen while being undetected in yours. So it has that going for it. The 8-kilometer torpedoes with the 65 knot speed is pretty good, and so is the fact that you can get your concealment down to 6.6 kilometers with the Concealment Expert perk. So overall, I really like the Ernst Gaede. You really do have to play a disciplined playstyle and stick close to your team, but that's alright, because that's usually how I play it anyways. But if you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe if you would like to see more. Alright, so the Ernst